that you have opened a whole new virtual world? Like the virtual store is now open for business?
No.
No?
Given the fact that so much of the Radiohead sort of fan base is on the net and very active, and we've always really sort of enjoyed that element of things, it wasn't that hard a choice, really.
No. I think as well, there's the feeling that what's great about it is that ability to change and move. You know, the problem with a record contract per se is that, you know, if you're signed for 6 records, that framework stays with you, and it's very different. You know, that band that starts is very different from the band sort of 10 years later. So the things that you have to do don't necessarily sit comfortably with you. So what's great about this way is that it was just a response then, and when we bring out our next record, it will be something different.
If we weren't stimulated by the whole process, we wouldn't carry on, because there's no point. If it was like, we are the little creative people in the box, thank you very much, we give you our missive, at the end of it you say thank you very much, you write a cheque, you send them away. We can't do that. There's no point in us carry on if that's the way things are.
I was skeptical at first, until I realized, well, I listen to a lot more music now than I used to, because I have access to a lot more music, and I can carry around a lot more stuff with me. If I go on tour, I don't have just one big box of CDs I'm lugging around. I can have thousands of albums on a hard drive or on my iPod. And I realized, well, I'm actually listening to a lot more music now. And in the middle of this is these bureaucratic record labels that seem to have their heads firmly in the sand. Okay, how can we just pretend this isn't happening? And treat the fans like criminals and go out of their way to make products that people don't want. And I've been in the absurd position of being on a record label and finishing an album, and then you hand it over to them, and you wait several months for it to come out. And in the meantime, it leaks, and then all the rabid fans that can't wait to hear it, you're pissed off at, you know, because you're not supposed to hear it that way. And it's not even about the money that you're not getting. It's about you've lost control. You've lost. I didn't want you to hear it as a bad MP3 ripped and, you know, that you're hearing on shitty iPod headphones, you know.
Right.
But things are different, you know, and I think it's foolish to long for those days that are never going to come back. I get that. Certainly radio doesn't work. Nobody listens to the radio that I know. I don't. Unless I'm trapped in a rental car or something, there's no way I'm going to listen to, you know, a good college station, maybe. But, you know, so you start realizing, hey, this whole system has changed, and the gatekeepers, the record labels, they have no idea what to do. They're the last people you should be asking. So the experiments that we've come up with Nine Inch Nails, for example, were just, it's not that I want to be a marketing guy. You know, I'd rather not ever have to think about it. That's not why I started practicing piano when I was 5 years old, you know, to think about demographics and that kind of crap. Doesn't mean you can't survive. It just means you have to adapt to a new climate that's out there. You know, I'm not going to be Metallica and try to, you know, demonize everybody that uses the internet, because I do it.
What is it about this? Give me an essence, you know, the strip it away. Why this is, for you, such a bad thing that you want to stop it?
In essence, it's about control. It's really about controlling what you own. You know, we clearly own our own songs. We own the master recordings to those, and we want to be the ones that control the use of those on the internet. That's it in essence.
What's at stake?
What's at stake is really the control of it.
Okay, an artist's right to own and control his own art.
Yes.
I look at, in all due respect to Lars and Metallica, they have an issue where they own their masters and they control their realm, and they want to talk about control of their realm, which is warranted and granted indeed, but they're the exception to the rule. The power goes back to the people, because the industry has, over the last 15, 16 years, has been accountant and lawyer driven, and it hasn't been about the artistry. And I look at Napster as a situation, or the connection between file sharing, which this is, and downloadable distribution, as power going back to the people. I also look at this as being a situation where, for the longest period of time, the industry had controlled technology, and therefore the people were subservient to that technology, and at whatever price range that the people would have to pay for it. The label's dominance have kept the little man from participating in the music business. They're screaming and crying because they'll have to share the marketplace. I don't have a problem with that. I looked at the major labels and their dominance, being lawyer and accountant driven, counting what's not there, and then coming up and concocting a situation like this will hurt the music industry when there's actually no proof. And I would counter the fact that exposure to a product will still drive that fan base to go pick up that product and still contribute to the bottom line of an artist or a business anyway. And the whole paradigm of the music business is changing because there was another parallel music world to the one has been dominated by the former rules, and the former rules are out of the door like an old baseball game.
Hi, we're the Limousines.
And this is our Kickstarter campaign.
The power is shifting away from the established music industry and to the artists and the fans. Kickstarter has given us the chance to cut out the middleman and partner up with you, our fans, plus new people who are just now discovering us through this campaign. Kickstarter backers who believe in and support artists with an independent spirit. We're so glad we get to do this with you, instead of being at the mercy of record label executives. Every step forward we take is something to be proud of.